Hi, welcome back to the channel. Today I am going to have a play about with these that I've just received. I've just bought them. This is not a sponsored video at the moment. I'm just reviewing some products that I find quite interesting and seeing how they work and how they respond to different ways of playing with UV resin. It is UV resin that I'm using today. I'm going to be using the Resin Black and the Jadiction Clear. Again, not sponsored. I love doing reviews and I love playing about with new products that have come in on the line. So today we're going to get a bit metallic. Get that open. And let's see what we actually get inside here. I'm not sure if they're going to be powders or... yeah, look like powders. I was going to say powders or flakes. There's one hiding. So I've put these in alphabetical order just so I can keep a track on which one's which, because obviously when we start with some powders we don't know where we're up to. So we've got the antique gold, then we've got the bronze, then the copper, then the rustic gold, and then the silver. So that's the order that I'm going to be doing in. I'm going to start using a couple of applicators because I'm not sure which one will work best. So these are like the applications that you use for mica powders and things like that. Pretty much very similar to cosmetic applicators. Then I've got micro brushes, which I think is probably going to be the favourite, but I'm also going to try the brush and we'll just see which one applies this for the dusting best on the mould that we're using today. So this one's for the dusting clear, this one is for the mixed clear, this one is for the dusting black, this one is for the mix black, and then we'll just have these as surplus. We'll see, in case we've got any left over, we can just use them moulds for that. Right, so let's get dusting, see which applicator actually performs better, and we'll go from there. Right, straight off, this dusting powder is very, very fine. It is flying up a bit about places, and it looks like you don't need very much at all. Put a very small amount on there, and we're getting it on, but it doesn't seem to be burnishing very well with the brush, so I'm just going to give it a try with this applicator, see if that makes it any better. It does, but I'm getting a lot of loose powder still in the corners, so I think maybe using this to put it on initially might work, and then go in with the micro brush. Need to get some on there. Go in with the micro brush into the corners, just get them. Yeah, the micro brush is definitely the one to use on this small mould, just to get everything burnished. Let's not forget the middle post. Then all I'm going to do to just make sure there's no cross-contamination with powders, I'm just going to go on the top and just take any excess off like that. We will tip it upside down and get rid of any dusting powders that way, but initially I don't want it moving around. Right, so that's the antique gold, and I think I'm going to need a few more of these micro brushes just so that we can keep the colours from mixing. And you do get a lot of these micro brushes for your money. They're practically pennies. You get hundreds and hundreds of them. I'll put any links for anything that I'm using in the description box below, so you can check any of that out that you want to see. So I'm going to get all these dusted in, and I will be back with you once I've got that done. Okay, so I've got all them dusted in. It did make quite a bit of a mess, but I've had a bit of a clean up, and I have got some residue still in some of these letters, but because it's the same colour as what I'm putting in, I'm not too fussed at this time. So what I'm going to do next is get some little pots, put these powders in, and then add the clear and the black to them, and then we'll pour them in here. So I've got them all lined up, and I've just marked it at the top here on the front of the pot just so I don't get mixed up. So A is for antique, B is for bronze, C is for copper, R is for rustic gold, and the S is for silver. And we're going to go in and put the clear UV resin in. I'm going to use this in all 5 of these pots, and hopefully we'll have enough in the bottle. I think what we'll do is just put a little bit extra in each and if there's any left over, we can either do a Overpour or we can do a couple of surplus. Right, so that's the UV resin put in. I'm going to get these mixed, just to give you an idea of what it's like. It looks like the powder is already dissolving without any issues. Oh, that's beautiful. So unlike some other powders that I've used before, these are pretty much melting into the UV liquid. So it doesn't look like they need stirring for long, and it just reminds me of liquid mercury, this one. So that's the silver. Let's do the rustic gold one next. And look at that. It already looks like liquid gold. There's no powder residue in there. It's literally melted into that UV resin. Like it. Like it a lot. Yeah, no clumps. Powder's pretty much melted into it. Oh, that's the same for all of them. So this one is the copper. Look at that. That is beautiful. I do hope these work out because they are very nice to look at. I'm hoping they actually look like metal when they come out. I think we're definitely going to have something left over, so maybe we will do a dirty pour into a different mould, something a bit bigger than these letters. So that was the copper. Now onto the bronze. Lovely. Oh, I like that. I am quite interested in what it'll look like with the black now. And I think we may not even need the amount of powder that I've put in, because this has coloured it really, really well straight away. But I did measure the powder on my mini scales, and it was literally the first point on the scales. So I think it was 001. I'll show you when I do the black what I mean. I'll show you how I measured it. So that's the bronze. And then we have the antique gold. Look at that already. Beautiful. It's melted into it. And I want to get these poured and under the lamp as soon as possible. And then we can start getting the black ones mixed up. Yep, didn't take long to mix that at all. It was literally melted in as soon as it was sort of touched by the UV resin, so I'm very happy with them. Let's get them poured. So I'm going to start off with the silver because that was the first one that we actually mixed. And I just want to double check I'm doing the right place. This is mixed clear. Let's see if I don't overpour today. I think it will need a little bit more in there. I'm going to give that a sec to just sort of fill in. So while we're waiting for that to move about a bit, I'm going to go in with the rustic gold. I think the majority of the art form for resin is trying not to overpour. Or underpour. I think you're either an overpourer or an underpourer. Let me know what you are in the comments. Next we have the copper. I've definitely mixed too much of this stuff. Didn't need this much at all, so we're definitely going to have enough to do a dirty pour on something. I'm going to get a drip. Come on, drip. No, you want to come out. There you go. So that's the copper. Now let's go for the bronze. I think the silver does need a little bit of a top up. I definitely have overpoured on that H. And this is the antique gold. This is coming out quite marbled. I've overpoured for the show with that one. I'm just going to get a cotton swab and take some of that out. Alternatively, you can use a pipette, but I think sometimes if you just need a little bit out, and especially with these moulds being very small, I don't think you're going to need to take that much out. And if you just do it from one area, then the rest of the fluid will sort of fill in the rest of the space. That's my theory anyway. So I'm just going to do the same with the H, because it has got a bit of an overpour. You don't need to take a lot out, just enough to take it down a little bit. I think we've sort of done the same with the T, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to run out of cotton bud soon. I better stop overpouring. I think we don't need to take much off, but I am going to go in with the silver again and just top up this Z a little bit more. Doesn't need a lot. Right, that's that in there. What I want to do before we go ahead and put this under the UV light is just go around the corners, because I know this UV never goes in the right places. Don't want to leave any chance of bubbles in any of the sharp corners. So I'm going to do that and then I will get back to you. Okay, so I've run that over all of those, and now I need to top these up with clear. Now that's easier said than done for me. The clear one is the one that I always struggle with, to try and get it underpoured or overpoured. So I'm just going to take my time and let it fall in itself. And then if it does need a top up, I will go in and do that afterwards. So I'm going to fill these up and I'll be back with you in a minute. So they're all topped up with clear, not that you can see much, it's just just trust me, they are filled up with the clear there. And we need to go in on the dust black with the black UV resin. And again, I am just going to let this go in, make sure it's level, fill it all up, and I'll be back with you when I've done. So they're all filled up with the black now. I have got a little bit of a concern that some of the pigment of the powders is coming up into the UV black. So what I'm thinking of doing is, before I actually go ahead and mix the powders with the black resin, I'm going to get these under to cure whilst I actually mix up the powders and everything. So I'm going to get them on my little tray, preferably without spilling them. I think what we'll do is pop it that way so it's got every one of those letters under the UV light, and then I'm going to put that on for the 300 seconds and we'll get the other pots mixed up ready. So these are the little scales that I was talking about. I unboxed these in my Temu haul. I think it was the last one that I did, and there was part of a kit that was like for sanding and finishing off and preparing resin. I'll put the link for that Temu haul at the top somewhere up there. But these are the little scales that you get. Now when I was getting this prepared and I was moving these bottles around, they actually felt a different weight. So I feel like the actual powder weighs different. So for example, this silver feels the lightest out of all of them. And I'd say probably the copper is actually heaviest. So I've not used much out of these. You've seen how much I've actually put in the pots on the previous one. So I'm just going to set that back to normal. Now the silver is 353 and the copper is 901. So the actual powders are different weights, so really using this scale for this purpose isn't really worth doing, basically because the powders weigh different, so you're going to put a different amount in each. So what I'm going to do is, instead of actually weighing it out, I'm going to do it by looking at it, because I did feel like the silver did have quite a lot more than the other ones. So I'm going to put these in order first of all before I confuse myself. So I need a little spoon again. I'm just going to put a bit of each in those, and I will be back with you when I've done. Right, so I'm going to go in now with the Let's Resin UV Black. I'm probably going to try and keep it less of the amount that we did with the clear, because we did end up quite a lot left of that one. Right, let's see if these mix as beautiful as the other ones did with the clear. It is already melting into that UV liquid. Yep, happy with that. It looks very similar to what it did with the clear. Maybe it'll just give us a different result when we come to have them all cured. So I'm going to get them stirred and I'll be back with you. So I've got all them mixed in nicely. What I'm going to do now is pull out the mould and we'll get these poured into the mixed black one. I'm just wondering whether to take these out first or just put them under again anyway. I just want to... They sound like they're cured. Well, like I said, I'm a bit concerned about some of the powders coming up into the liquid, but we'll have to see how that goes. So what I'm going to do is actually pour these in now and then get them cured. So I'm going to get this all filled up and I will be with you as soon as I've got all these done. So they're all filled in now with the black mix with the actual colour or the powder. So I'm going to get them under the lamp. I'm going to get this turned on for the 5 minutes. It is curing on both sides at the same, with this. These are white sort of clear moulds, so the UV lights come from the top and the bottom with this particular UV lamp, and it should cure on both sides. So I'm going to get that set up and I will be back with you when this has gone off. So we have dusted clear, mixed clear, dusted black and mixed black. So them are the two that I've got concerns for, but we'll see what they look like as we go on. So let me take these out one at a time. So the A, as it picked up the powders. So this is the dusted one. Making a pig's ear pulling it out. Yeah, it's only picked up some of the powders. So that's the A. I'm thinking I might be better off putting some clean gloves on so you can actually see what it looks like. Okay, so I've managed to find some white gloves. They're a bit snug, but I thought they might be better to actually show you on the camera what these have turned out like. So that one has definitely missed a lot of the metallic powder, and it still feels a little bit sticky as well. So any that feel a bit sticky I'm actually going to put back under. But you can see how much it hasn't picked up the powders. Let's see about the copper. And we look like we have the same issue. It's picked up some of the powders, but not all of it. I'm not sure if you can see how see-through parts of that is. So that's the G. It doesn't feel sticky though like the A did. This one is it's definitely not picked up. This is the copper. And that is definitely still sticky. So I'm going to put that on there. Just show you on that camera first. Definitely still sticky and it's not picked up. This is the rustic gold, and the same thing again, it looks like it's not picked up the powders and that one is still sticky. So I think we're going to have the same issue with the Y. Yep, it's picked up some of it but not all of it. So dusting and the clear is definitely not going to be worth doing with UV resin anyway. So that's not giving me much hope for the dusted black. But we never know, we'll see. So this again is the antique gold. Can actually looks like this one's picked up. Now then. This one looks like it's worked. It does give the antique gold effect. So that one's a win. Let's try the bronze. And the powders come off on that one as well. Yep, that's transferred beautiful. This is the copper, and again, nice clean mould. So this one is the rustic gold and we have a nice clean mould. I like the idea of a nice clean mould. That's the rustic gold. So I'm hoping the silver is going to give us the same results. Yep, nice clean mould, and we have a silver. So we've mixed the clear with each of these powders. So we've got the antique gold, the bronze, the copper, the rustic gold and the silver. So they are all done with the clear resin mixed. So dusted black, let's see. We've got a dirty mould. Is it cured? Nope, it's not cured either. That's definitely still tacky. So I think we're going to get the similar results. Yep, dirty mould, sticky front. So the dusting, like you would do with mica powders, definitely doesn't work with these powders, with UV resin anyway. Yep, same again. Sticker, black. They have got a bit of the metallic powders stuck to them, not enough for it to work well. And the silver, it's picked up a bit more than the other ones, but we've still got a sticky front of that one. Right, let's hope that the mixed black is as good as the clear. Let's have a look. Is the mould dirty? No, the mould's clean. And is it? Ah, no, it's not cured. Still soft on the front, so it looks like it's too concentrated on the front for it to be able to get through. So it looks like the only way to use these powders at the minute with UV resin is mixing it with clear. But that's why I do these things, so you don't have to go and waste your money on it. Now, feeling this, it's not just the front, it's the full thing. It's very soft all the way through. Just with this one I'm going to show you. It's very soft. You see? Soft. So pretty much guaranteed that all these are going to be the same. But we'll see. Yep, this one's getting squidgy in my hand, so that one's definitely, again, soft. So black with these powders, with UV black resin, nope, not even worth using. So if you're using UV resin and you, oh, no, it's still soft. It's a bit better than the others, but it's still soft. So they're all, that one as well, they're all the black UV resin with the powders, and each of them are not worth bothering with, so yeah, no good with those. I'm only going to cure the other ones that we pulled from the clear and from the mixed black under the lamp, because they still felt solid, but they were sticky on the front. So UV resin, only used with clear mix. So that's that part of the way. Obviously we're going to have to wait till the end to demold these, but I can pretty much guarantee that these two hearts of the black are not going to be in a good state. I'm going to give this mould a clean as good as I can do, and then we'll have a go at doing the epoxy resin. Back with you in a minute. So I've got them cleaned out as much as I'm going to do. Now obviously there's still a little bit here and there, but it's majority of it's clean. But I'm going to be using the same colours in it anyway. The alcohol's dissipated now, so it's nice and dry. I'm going to go in there and do exactly the same thing as I did earlier, where I use an applicator to pour it in, and then use one of the micro brushes to spread it out. I'll get all these done and I'll be back with you when I've done all that. So I made a bit of a mess, but I've got it all dusted. I actually had to rewrite these on the top because I had to clean the full mat because the powders was all over the place. Anyway, we've got this dusted now with each of the colours, so I now need to mix up some epoxy. I'm going to split it into 2 cups, one black and one clear, and then we'll do the pouring into this, pouring into the little pots at the same time, so we can get it all done in one go. The cups that I've got are these, and I think I might actually be better off with one that we can pour from. So I'm going to mix it in one of these, but then I'm going to pour it into one with a little spout. So the resin I'm using today is from Fun Epoxer. This is a 2-part resin, mixing ratio 1:1. I'm going to go for 140ml, and if I've got any left over I can tip it into something, and if I've not got enough I can mix some up. So I'm not sure which one you're actually supposed to put in first. So if you do know, or if it doesn't make a difference, let me and other people know in the comments. Obviously half of 140 is 70, so I'm going to go up to 70 with this one. And that is a little bit over 70, so I'm going to go a little bit over 140. My bad. and we'll get that under the mixer. Okay, that's done. I'm going to take this up and I'm just going to stir this from all sides and the bottom. And I don't have a degasser or a debubbler or anything like that at this moment in time. I do plan on getting one. I was told that Temu do offers on branded products. I've had a look, but I've not found anything as yet. So I'm hoping that it might just be that I wasn't looking in the right place. But as soon as I find out anything like that, I will obviously let you guys know. And put links in the descriptions for you. So I'm just wiping the rest of that off and I'm going to put it back under the mixer for a couple of minutes. I'm not too bothered about this project having bubbles in it because the powders will cover all that up. Well, that's the plan. So for now, I'm just after getting a good mix and distribute it to these cups in time before it starts going hard. So once that's mixed, I'll be back with you for the pouring. Okay, let's take this out and we'll get the pots mixed up. And again, I'm just going to go in and stir this around and make sure everything is incorporated. Right, let's get this split up into its cups. And hopefully I can do this quick enough before it actually starts curing on me. I'm going to colour one of these with black alcohol ink. I really don't know how much of this I need because it's the first time I'm using alcohol inks, but I'm going to give that a stir. I really think I should have used pigments, but I don't have any at the moment. And this is actually looking more blue instead of black. I'll get on with that in a minute. I want to get this poured into these clear ones. I think I'm actually going to need it in a different cup. Because that one's a bit bendy. This is a lot runnier than UV resin. Knowing me where it overpoured. Maybe I should have just done the clear first and then the black afterwards. I've just heard you all shout at me saying, don't use cotton buds. You'll put fibres in your thing. I'm going to split this up because apparently it cures less it's got going on. I'm going to mix this up. I thought I was prepared for all this, but I'm not. So I think I'm going to have some moulds to one side just in case I don't get this all done in time. It does say a 40-minute work time on the bottle, but yeah, I'm not sure how much that actually is. It still looks quite translucent. I'm just going to have to put some more of this alcohol ink because it is the only thing that I've got that's black apart from paint, and I want to try and keep this as resin friendly as possible. I'm in a bit of a panic that I've mixed too much. Things are starting to get warm and I don't want this to fail because I've been at this all night and I don't want to have to redo it all. I've definitely made too much of mixture. So my guess was way off mark, for sure. Right, I think we're best off getting some of this mixed in, because from what I've seen other people do, the smaller the pot, the less time it has. What am I missing there? Antique. Oh yeah, these are all the powders I mixed prior to this, thinking I'm being clever and I can get it all done quick. Yeah. That didn't go to plan as well as I wanted it to. I'm definitely going to have too much in these little pots, and I'm going to have too much in the big pot too. But we live but we don't learn. So I'm just going to spread this out between these pots, what's in there, and then we'll do something with the rest of what's in the other pot, because I don't know what to do at the minute. So at least that's in there. Where can I put you? I'll put you inside there. This isn't going to plan. I need to make sure I don't get these mixed up as well. So we need... I've mixed 2 C's. I need an A. No. So I'm going to have to do another C. Yeah, I'll mix this up and put it in with the other C. Because I messed up. I'm going to have to do some more. Let's just mix it up quickly. Get it done. Put in the thing, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do with the rest of it. And there's me thinking I was all prepared. Yay, we keep it real on this channel. So that is a lot of copper mixed with clear. It's a good job these powders actually melt into the resin, because yeah, I think we would be struggling right now otherwise. Right, let's get that off there. So that's the copper. We'll go for what is already mixed next, and we'll put a bit of clear in there before that goes off. And I need to try and keep these in order so that we don't get them mixed up. So let's get the silver poured first, just because it's there. Then the rustic gold. I'm rushing and I know I'm going to end up over pouring, but I'm doing my best with what I can do. Copper. Yeah, slow down. You're a lot faster than the other one was. Bronze. And antique gold. Do any of these need a top up? Nope, they don't need a top up. In fact, they need a top down. So what can we do with the rest of these? Let's do that in a bit, because we need to concentrate on this. So this black is already getting warm, which is not what I wanted. But it's warm, it's not, you know, warm, dead hot, like warm, it's just warm. And I'm going to tip some of this in here. And yep, it's not as opaque as I'd like it, but it should give us an idea of what it looks like if we did it with dark black. And this is a lot runnier because obviously we've not got the powders in there. Nah, this is a lot runnier. Oh god, Don't ever expect to come to this channel and for things to go right. I'm exceptionally well known for things going wrong. And every single one of them is overpoured. That's not what I wanted. I want a cotton bud to take some of this off. Because we're going to have major overpour issues here. And I've just stuck my finger in the other one. That's clever of you, Stace. I don't like that end. That end definitely looks overfull. And I don't want it to cause me issues later. So we'll take a bit of that off. Right, that's that bit. Let's get them mixed in with these colours. And I also need to put a fresh one out with antique gold in because we used it on... Did we? What's happened here? Antique. That's 4. Okay, so we need one more pot. Right, I need to put these back in order. So silver we'll do first. So that's the silver. Next we want to mix the rustic. So I'm going to work from the bottom to the top again. I'm trying to decide which of these golds I like the best because I'm getting ideas of what I want to use the surplus for. So we've got the silver, the rustic gold. This is the... No, this is antique gold. What have I done? Wasn't the antique gold, was it? Oh. Right, I will get this all lined up correctly soon. Promise. But at this moment in time, I've not got the copper mixed up for the black. So I need to get another pot, put the right powder in, and then give that a mix. Because we're obviously not got the right one. We've got antique. I mixed antique instead of copper. So that one was antique. This one is bronze. So this one here is antique again with black, but we're not going to use this one. We're going to tip it in with that one once I've mixed it. So we're going to have a lot of antique and a lot antique with black and a lot of copper with clear, because I did stupid things and put the wrong powders and the wrong liquid in the wrong pots. And we want black with this copper. Stop dripping, please. Let's give that a stir. Oh, I like this one. I'm just not sure what colour would go best with silver. I'm thinking the rustic gold or this copper. It's starting to get a bit thicker now, so I need to get these tipped ASAP. Right, so silver first. Overpoured drastically with that one. What am I up to? I really apologise with this. It's just too thick. I'm not doing very well. Oh my god, this is hard work. I need a pipette. I need something. Help! It's that thick, it's not even picking it up. Right, we'll leave that idea. That didn't work. Yeah. This is quite fun. For the wrong reasons. What do I get myself into? Right, I'm going to need more cotton buds at this rate. So we've done the silver, we've done the rustic, We're now doing the, what are you, copper. Then the bronze. No! Oh, for God's sake. And then the antique. It's just got so thick that it's not easy to pour at all anymore. Right, I'm definitely not going to do any more in this. I'm going to just leave that as much as I can alone, and I'm going to get something to pour the rest of this mixture into before it starts clumping up. Let's go for a frog. Unfortunately, we're not going to have eyes in this, because obviously I've not prepared it. Thinking of mixing more of this in with it. So it's more fluid. I want to mix two at the same time. I want to keep the black separate to the clear, and I think I want to go with this colour first. Then I'm going to go in with some silver. And this is going to be a very mixed frog. So all we've done is just poured them in there, and I'm a bit concerned that it's just going to look like a muddy mess. But at this point in time where I've not planned on what I'm actually doing, I think that's what I'm just going to have to expect. But I'm wondering whether to do anything with it at all. I'm not sure. I'm just going to give that a tap, leave it off to the side. So I wanted to do this coaster with some darker resin. And I wasn't planning on doing this in this one, but it looks like that's what I am going to be doing. I do want to give it a little bit of glitter, because that's what we need to do. I'm not sure if this is enough, but it's going thick and I don't want to have any issues where it's not going to cure for me. So I'm going to pour that as it is, because I want to see if that holographic works on a darker colour, and especially one with some extra glitter and sparkle. But I'm also thinking now that I should put some of the other colours in it, because we haven't got enough for one, but also just to give it a bit of interest. Now these are mistakes that I wasn't prepared for, but I am going to add some other colours just to fill it up for one. I think a lot of people discover new things by having these crafting accidents, so maybe it may turn out nice. We'll have to wait and see. And I do want to make that a bit of a mix. I'm going to start here. Go around. We will never know what this is going to look like until we demold it. I do just want to go in and make sure that the corners of this mould have something so there's no bubbles. Right, so that's that. We'll see what happens with that as time goes on. I may go back in and give it another little stir, but I'm just concerned now that we've got all this left over and I want somewhere to put it. Right, I have a rose mould, but I have never ever used it, so I don't know what it's going to be like at all. So, what can I say? I don't know how this is going to work out for sure. So I definitely want silver to be sort of on the petals the most. You never know, these things might turn into something beautiful. But you will have to stick to the end of the video to see what these turn out like. See if they're a monstrosity. And now I've actually created them, you'll be able to see for yourselves. Oh, for God's sake, Stacey, what are you messing about at? And this, I'm just going to literally stir it all over to make sure it's getting in places. But I do want to put some glitter in it as well. You're not making things easy for yourself, Stace. But who knows, the rose might be beautiful. I know this isn't the normal way to do things. If I was doing things that was normal, you probably won't be watching, because I do some doo-doo. I do some stupid things. Right, what will make that silver pop the most? We'll go for this one. We'll leave him to drain in. I'm going to mix all these together for the corresponding ones. I need a really big, like, mould so that any resin I've got left over I can just tip straight into that Lyric Cure and just keep tipping in until there's no more left. I very much doubt this rose coming out in a good way, because I'm probably going to have bubbles everywhere and gaps that it's missed and all the rest of it, because there's not enough fluid in this. Like, it's not liquidy enough. I'll come up with a name for this flower as well, something like the stressed out project. I don't know. I'll come up with a name for it, because this is this has been a bit of a mad bit of filming. And I've just looked up at the computer to make sure it's actually been recording, because I've had that issue in the past. And it looks like we might have just enough to finish this off. Do all this and it'll probably not even work out anyway. I'm just going to go in there with the back of a paintbrush and hopefully push it into some places that I might have missed. I really don't know how this is going to turn out. I can't see it turning out good, but we needed to do something with the rest of it, so why not mess up some lovely mould that I've never even tried. I don't even know if this mould would actually work out nice or not if it was done with resin intentionally, because I've never used it before. So there's a couple of bubbles coming to the top, which means I've definitely managed to squidge some out of the petals that might be in there. Might be in there, they are in there. But the bubbles are coming to the surface, which is a good thing. So I'm just going to keep dropping it. Drop it, drop it, drop. There's definitely some bubbles coming up, which is a good thing. Can't see any bubbles coming up on this one or the small one. So rather than use a lighter with this, because I have been using alcohol on the desk, I'm just going to pop them surface bubbles. There's quite a few coming up though. I'm going to leave that as is. So we're back and it's the next day and we're going to get these open. I'm going to move all the dirty pour ones to one side, because the initial point of this experiment was to see if the powders actually worked with different things, and we'll also then get an idea which one of these will work out, which ones won't. Let me know in the comments which ones you think will work out or won't work out. Right, so we had, just a reminder, we had the dusting clear, the mixed clear, the dusting black and the mixed black, and these were surplus if we wanted to tip any, but by the time I'd mixed it all and how thick it got and everything else, there was absolutely no chance of pouring any in here. So we're going to start off with the dusting clear, and this is the A. Oop, looks promising. We've got a clean mould by the looks of it. Now that is still soft, but that could possibly be because it's only been, let me figure out how many hours it's been. It's been 17 hours and they are still on the soft side. So I don't know at this moment in time whether that is because it's not fully cured yet, or if it's just not worked. If this one's still soft, then it's definitely because it's not had enough time to cure. Yeah, that one's still a little bit soft. It's to do with the curing rather than the actual experiment. So I'm going to leave them off to one side, give them a few more hours, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to do this a bit mixed up now, because obviously things have changed. I think we'll be alright demolding this and the frog. I'm not so sure about the rose, whether we should demold that yet or not. But we will get on with this one. Unfortunately, there's some bubbles that did come to the surface after the fact that I popped them all, and therefore there is a few little bumps, which we can obviously take down and fill in and do a top coat with some UV resin. I'm sort of getting Aztec theme kind of colours from this, which gives me some ideas for some future projects. Now the top of this is an holographic heart, so I'm hoping that it looks good with the holographic, but we will see. Let's have a look. I like the holographic, I like the glitter, but I don't like what's happened with the colour. I'm not sure if you can see it on that camera. Let me put it on the other one and you'll see what I mean. You can sort of take the distraction away from it a bit with the hearts. But where I've gone in and tried to make some lines, what I've done is touch the actual base. That's my fault. You know, I was trying not to mix it up too much, but I've definitely gone all the way down with them lines, because you can see some of the lines going through. So the overall theme is nice. I like how it looks. I like how sparkly it is. It's a bit of a dullish colour, but I think that was because we had the black and the black glitter. This one's not completely cured, so I'm going to leave that off to one side to cure. Let's have a look at the froggy. Now we know this one's not going to have any eyes because it was a panic pour. I've made a new saying for what I'm doing. That's a panic pour. And we're going to demold him and see what we've got. I'm pretty sure when I've done this resin a bit more and I've got a bit more experience that I'll just be ripping these out of the moulds. But for now I'm being as careful as I can. It's not the mould that's difficult to get out of, it's me taking my time. and hoping that it doesn't fall apart. Right, so that's the bottom. Let's have a look at the top. Now that's different. We got a stripey frog. Now if you remember, it was quite a chaotic moment of pouring these, trying to get the resin in quickly. So unfortunately we do not have any eyes. I'm going to have to put them on separate. But it looks, it's not my cup of tea, but somebody else might really like it. So that's my little froggy made from gold metallic powders. That one actually feels cured. Obviously it's not fully cured, but it does feel cured. So I think the bigger the mould, the quicker epoxy, and I'm not 100% certain about this because I've never actually used epoxy much, but it looks like the bigger the project that you pour, the quicker it cures. So them letters are obviously very small, so they're taking time to cure. But with the frog, it's definitely hard, and the coaster is a lot harder than the letters. It's, you know, it's not flopping about. You can't move and bend it, but you can feel a bit of softness to it still. So I've got no problem now demolding this flower. Well, may have a problem actually what it looks like, but don't have any problem actually giving it a try. So on this, you can see here we did get a bubble somehow, but that is on the bottom, so I'm not too concerned about that. And I've never used this mould before, so I don't even know how it actually looks in the first place. But this is a different type of silicone to this. This is quite rigid in a way. Not rigid, it's quite, even though it's soft and squishable, movable, it's got a definite form to it, where this is really soft and squidgy. So if it looks like or feels like a completely different material it's made of. Right, let's see how we've done with this. There is some bits left in the mould, some glitter, which isn't too much of an issue. Let's have a look what it looks like. Now for a panic pour, that's not bad. But it is giving me some ideas of that this would look really nice as a pine cone. It's just giving me that kind of vibe. It doesn't look like a rose, obviously, because it's not the same colours. But for a panic sort of quick thing, it's worked out quite well. There is quite a big chunk that's been missed there. Not sure why that is, or whether we can repair it, because it is quite large. And there is a bubble at the bottom there, and obviously we mentioned this one as well, but we'd be sanding this bottom bit down to get rid of them ridges if we was to do anything with it. So yeah, that's our dirty pour from the experiments that we've done. We could even make a little like scene, a little froggy next to a flower. We could have that up on the side like that. Don't think it'd work, but it's a thought. Could have it like that. But we definitely need some eyes on that frog. And I'm not sure what's best to use. Probably an acrylic marker or some paint. And obviously the bottom needs finishing off. But yeah, there's our frog. I quite like that kind of look. I sort of wish I'd done a bit more stripey as it went down, rather than this solid colour at the top. But yeah, have you ever seen a frog look like that before? I'm wondering whether to take the letters out and let them cure separately. I'm going to Google that. Does it actually take longer to cure on smaller moulds? Obviously I'm new to epoxy resin, and if you're watching this and you're new as well, I think this is quite good information. So epoxy resin takes longer to cure in small thin moulds rather than in large thick moulds. Because epoxy is an exothermic material, the chemical reaction generates its own heat. So in big moulds, it holds onto the heat better and accelerates the chemical reaction, and therefore it causes the resin to harden faster. Small moulds dissipate heat into the surrounding air quickly without that built up internal heat. Thin or delicate pieces take longer to reach a full solid cure and may stay flexible for several days. So I'm hoping that these don't stay flexible for that long, because I need to get this film finished and sort of sent out. But I think because the frog has turned out, the coaster's turned out, these have gone hard, I don't think we're going to have any problems with these. So you get a lovely finish on the dusting clay. So that's a nice colour. Then we've got the B, which is the mixing clay. But you can see the difference between how shiny it is. So when you dust it, that's more of a metallic kind of gold in my opinion. Whereas when you mix it in, yeah, it goes throughout. Obviously this one's still clear on the back. It goes throughout, but it gives a completely different effect. So that's the antique gold. The antique gold in black. This is the dusted one. We've got a clean mould again. And that is really nice. That's really shiny. Let's compare that to the clay. So yeah, definitely with the black has made a difference. It does look a lot more metallic. And then that's the black cab. Then that's the mixed clay. Let's get the black mixed one out as well. Let's put them back in order. A, B, C, D. So the A, so all these are antique gold. So that one is the dusted clay. That one is the mixed clay. That one's the dusted black. And that's the mixed black. So if you're looking for an actual chrome finish, I 100% recommend going for the dusted black. And then obviously it depends on what effect you actually want. But they give you a good idea of what you can do with them. So that's the antique gold. So next we have the bronze. So this is the dusted clay. That's turned out really nice. So that's the bronze with the dusted. This is the bronze clay mix. Again, sort of a mottled kind of effect. Then we have the dusted black. And that looks nice. That's really bronzy. That's the bronze dusted black. And then the mixed black, again, gives you that kind of mottled appearance. That's the bronze. Then we've got the copper. This is the dusted clay. There will be some overpour on this, but that's that one. Then we've got the mixed clay. Then we've got the black dusted. My fault. We've got a bit of an overpour there. So that's the dusted black. Then we've got the mixed black. So that's the copper. Then we're on to the rustic gold. This is the clear dusted. I'm just happy that I don't have to clean my mould as much. So that's the rustic gold. Then we've got the rusted gold in the mixed clay. Then we've got the black dusted rustic gold. And then we've got the dark mixed. I quite like that one. So that's the mixed black on the rustic gold. And then we're on to the silvers. So the dusted clay. Oh wow. I'm looking forward to seeing the black one then. If this is a clear one, that's very chromy. Then we have the mixed clear. Again, that kind of mottled look. Then we have the, which one's this? Dusted black. So this is one I'm excited to see about because it's going to look really chromy. Bit of overpour there. I've actually got a little dent in there, so there's a bubble managed to get trapped right in the corner here. So I didn't cover that as good as I should have done. But that, you can get the idea of what it looks like. That's very chromy. I don't even know if that's a word, but if it's not, I claim it. Okay, so that's the dusted black silver. Then we have the mixed black in the silver. And that's all of them. Now, obviously these are not entirely cured because these are very small and we've learnt today. I just want to put them to ignore the overpour and the mistakes with the bubbles. But the black definitely has a more shiny finish. And I think if you was able to add black pigment rather than the alcohol ink, which is what I used, I think that would actually turn out even nicer. It really does look like metal. The clear one does as well, but I just feel like the black one gives it more of a metallic look compared to the others. Now the mixed ones are a completely different effect. I've got to say, I must be very lucky that it's not spelt something naughty out on camera, so at least they've behaved. So these are the dusted clear, mixed clear, dusted black, and the mixed black. So yeah, we've got some really good results with the epoxy resin. The only thing I do with the UV resin is if you're doing it in the clear. So obviously the clear only works, the clear, and it has to be mixed for UV resin. But with the epoxy resin you can basically use it however you want to. I mean, these have dried, these have cured solid now. There's actually no giving that at all. This one's still got a little bit of give, not a lot. So obviously it needs time to cure, but these smaller ones will take longer because of the size. So if I don't manage to post it on this video because I need to get it out to yous, then I will just update yous either in the community posts or in the following video. Probably the community posts. I will let you know how they've worked out after a few days of drying. Right, so that concludes our experiments with the metallic powders from Let's Resin. Really good product for epoxy resin, not so much with the UV, but I hope this has been useful. You know what you can actually use these for and what kind of results you'll get. So yeah, got some good results with these. Obviously, I would never sort of mix these together, but we had a lot of resin left over because someone mixed the wrong amount. Don't know who that was, but yeah, quite pleased with how these have turned out. They do work similar to mica powders that I've used before, but they do give a better metallic result than any others that I've actually used. So I hope this video has been helpful. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye!